What's up, nerds? This is Jason BitBender Brink, and I am here to welcome you to episode 19 of Ahead of the Game. Is that right? 19, Paul? 19. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm very, very happy to be here with all of you guys, and I'm going to apologize in advance. Firstly, for this being on Friday instead of Thursday. I was in the air yesterday, or actually almost on my way home, but as you can see, I am back here where I am supposed to be in my little studio thingy, and it makes this much, much, much easier. I've got cameras, I've got multiple screens, I'm not just on one little tiny laptop, and we've got a lot to cover today. But I am also jet lagged as all hell right now, so please forgive me if I stumble or faceplant or possibly doze off during this, because I am absolutely I've been burning the wick at both ends and somewhere in the middle. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right into it. We've got a lot to cover today. A lot. So I'm going to go ahead and jump directly into it. Now, I've got Gala Gold up here. I've got YouTube up here. And I will be taking questions. And I also have a Twitter post that I posted asking for questions. So once all of the rest of this stuff is done, then we will jump into some questions and go from there. But we do have a lot to cover today. A lot. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. Okay. We have some updates for the ecosystem in general. We have a search function going live on the Gala website. This will make it easier to find the stuff that you are looking for. It'll also make it easier to filter and sort down through the various games and what is available. The team is working to make all new features available, shown last week, available for you guys, a reality soon, and you'll be able to look for NFT metadata, rarity, the game it's for, along with its name. So that's something that has been needed for a long time, and as a website update is something that I know that a lot of people are really looking forward to. And there are other web updates coming to the website as well. It is badly needed refresh is underway. Another thing that I would like to talk about very briefly is the fact that I am going to start doing AMA shorts for uploading to YouTube and TikTok and things like that. So I'm going to be asking for questions from the community, and then I will begin recording these. And I think the format that I'm going to do these in is a BitBender After Dark sort of format. So it should be a little bit interesting. The answers are going to be a little bit spicier than you would get here. But I'm going to be posting about that on my Twitter. So make sure that you go and drop your questions there. I'll also be posting or pulling questions from Discord and whatnot, just sort of at random throughout the day, because as you guys know, I hang out in there with you a lot. So I will be taking some of those questions and turning them into video format. And like I said, it's going to be a smidge spicier than you would get here. So I think that should be fun. Okay, let's see. Diving in. Oh, we have a interesting little... It's a community poll, really, that we'd like to do. So we've been working pretty closely with different creative teams. Now, we've got one creative team that is set up sort of the look and feel of Ahead of the Game right now, and there's another creative team that we are looking at doing a little bit more work with. So what we'd like to do is actually poll the community on which style they like more. So Paul, do you want to put the two styles up? Okay, so these are the two styles right next to each other. The one on the top is the one that we currently have. The one on the bottom is the new style. So this is the current style. And then the proposed new style. So we're going to put a poll in Discord right now, and you guys let us know which one you like. Paul, which channel is that poll dropping into? Okay, it's going to go in the Gala Gold announcements. So Gala Gold, this is your chance to pick what you guys like. So Gala Gold announcements, that poll should be going live from Doug Sunny here shortly. So go ahead and make your choices known. I'm not going to vote on this one because I really want to know what you guys think, and I don't want to I don't want to push that one way or the other. So yeah, we'll just let you guys vote and see what comes up. Let's revisit that towards the end of the session. Okay, now on to game updates. We've got some pretty good game updates. Oh, well, hold on. I have to do the different. Haha. There we go. Oh, that looks weird. Paul's fixing it. Champions Arena. There is a new battle pass that has been released yesterday with a new hero, as well with some cool art. So, do you want to show that art, Paul? The art is not working in OBS, so we're gonna have to come back to the art. The hero is the champion is Nerdan. I hope I'm saying that right. The Archer of Dawn. Nerdan has been fighting countless battles to protect the World Tree for ages. His arrows always landed on the enemies of the forest. Nerdan's discerning judgment and leadership in battle are an inspiration for the Guardians of Eritrea. While Nerdan knew about the anomalies happening all over the world, he wasn't interested in doing anything other than protecting the World Tree. However, when he heard about an ascetic wandering in the Badlands, Nerdan took up his bow and announced that he was going on an adventure. Little fairies must have known what was up because they asked him to let go of the past and stay in the forest. Nevertheless, Nerdan stayed impassive as he readied his bow. His arrows always find their mark. So that's cool. Always good to have a new champion. I'm going to have to get in there and play. I haven't been able to play over the last few weeks as I have been on absolutely rapid fire travel, which actually, before we move on to the next update, I want to just briefly discuss what I've been doing for these past 2 weeks, because I think that those of you who are new may have missed this. But over the past few weeks, I have gone to Token 2049, the Web3 Connect in partnership with C-Squared Ventures in Singapore, Philippines Blockchain Week in partnership with everybody over there, where we had a significant booth, and we did a Last Expedition tournament, which was absolutely epic. And then later to FinTech Asia in Bangkok, where I met with a lot of cool people across the entire ecosystem. At each of these places, I met with the community. I connected with people, especially in Bangkok, where we had a nice dinner out with about 30 members of the community. So that was a lot of fun. And I'm very excited to see all of these areas develop more. I also was on CNN in the Philippines, which was a pretty cool thing. Neat segment. I encourage you to look it up and let me know what you think. Okay, onward to the next update. Legacy. As you guys know, we are now experiencing technical difficulties. We're not experiencing technical difficulties anymore, are we? Let's go. Wrong button. Okay, Legacy. There we go. Legacy is releasing October 26th. We're putting together a survey to gather feedback and on what the community wants to see and hear leading up to the release. So pay attention to that. GALACHAIN integration testing is going well, and we're finalizing marketing assets. Some of it might make its way into Discord as leaks, but stay tuned to the Legacy channel for more. And I haven't talked to anybody about this, but I would like to at some point in time, hopefully get Peter on here and do a little bit of an interview. We'll see if that works out in the future. Moving forward from there, we have Echoes of Empire. Here's a concept for a cool pirate NPC ship. And as requested by the community, there's also a sneak peek of the Foundry UI. So cool stuff there. And I think that's something that everybody is going to be very happy to see. I'm super excited to begin playing that. Some updates then for Mirandus. Everybody's been asking about the shipwreck sale. A few bugs have been found, but they're being fixed as we speak. QA will then test to ensure everything looks and runs smoothly. If that does, you can expect to see that fairly soon. We're also working out the schedule of the next fireside chat with the developers. This will probably be next week, but a specific time has not yet been chosen. So pay special attention to our posted schedule. They've been very busy making an awesome game. Um, oh, I've actually. Okay, never mind. The fireside chat has been scheduled. It will be next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific. Check the Discord for your local time zone. Okay, Meow Match. On to Meow Match. Meow Match is one of the few games I haven't really had much of a chance to play. So I know that there are a lot of people who do enjoy it, though. So that makes me happy. Mal will be doing a Discord stage AMA next Tuesday, the 2nd of October at 10 a.m. Pacific. Check your Discord for the corrected time and more information. And Meow Match is adorable. Like, everybody loves cats, right? So I think that is a thing that you guys should get in on if you have the chance. Then, good Lord, we have so many updates this week, Paul. This is nuts. Get Plucked. The game is live. You can download Get Plucked on your iOS. I heard it wasn't available for Android yet. Is it available for Android? Okay, it's available for iOS for sure, and hopefully it wasn't available for Android a couple hours ago when I looked, but hopefully it will be available for Android very soon. We have an interview with the Get Plucked team, and to host that interview is the amazing Jay Hoon. So let's go ahead and go to that.
Hey, Gala community. Thank you for the introduction, Jason. Just to reiterate, I'm Jay Hoon, and I'm the crossover strategist here at Gala. I am here with Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Get Plucked team. It's a pleasure having you, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. No, appreciate you having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Nice, man. So yeah, before we get into the hard questions, could we have some background into your game development history?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm the product lead on Vox, and here to talk about Get Plucked, our new mobile game. But yeah, a little bit about me. I have been in games for about 6 years, in media and entertainment for about 6 years. I've been at Disney and Fox and Sony before coming to Gala. But yeah, I mean, I love being here. I love the Vox team and everything that Gala is doing. So I'm so excited for not just the Vox projects, but all the other Gala projects that we have coming our way.
Nice, man. Well, Disney, those are some big names. Well, super glad to have you on the team. It's nice to meet you, and every interaction I've had with you has been super positive. So thank you for joining us today, man. Now about Get Plucked. What is the current status of Get Plucked right now for its release on Android and iOS?
Yeah, so Get Plucked. Let's talk a little bit about Get Plucked. Get Plucked is a mobile game, Vox's first mobile game ever, which we are really, really excited about. And this is like, let me just talk about like what it is first, and then I'll get into like why we're doing it, and then I'll get into like the status and what you're talking about there. So what it is an endless arcade hopper, right? So it's a chicken game where there are all these different chickens that are playable characters in the game. So we dropped a bunch of chickens to all of the Vox holders a little bit ago, and so they already have these characters that they can play in the game. And there have been a few more characters added since then. There's well over 50 of these chickens floating around, and they're all different playable characters and rarity in this chicken game. And it's all just trying to get a high score on the leaderboard. There's some other features that we can talk about related to the app itself and some things that we've added on recently. But yeah, it's an endless arcade hopper. You try and get a high score. You try and compete for prizes. The different chickens kind of act like different skins. But yeah, man, it's something that we're really, really excited about. And how this came to be is we were kind of thinking like, okay, how can we give back to the community, right? Like, how can we give people something like visual to play while also building towards Vox First, right? Like Vox First is like our main goal, and we remain focused on that. But how can we utilize this, first product activation to build onto Vox First? So we came up with Get Plucked, right? We rewarded the community with the drop. They've got these chickens they can play with. They can join the leaderboard, win prizes, that kind of thing. But also, this game is built in Unity. So even though it's a mobile game, it's built in Unity, which is the same game engine that we're using to build Voxverse. So it really helps us with the art asset pipeline, with the rigging pipeline, get the biomes in game, get some assets in game. So you're really like almost getting a sneak peek at like what Voxverse looks like by like playing Get Plucked. There's going to be a lot more connections between the games, and you'll find out more. We've got an AMA coming up, so you'll find out more there as well.
Nice.
But yeah, it's just kind of like a testing bed for Voxverse and also giving the community something to play. So we hope they enjoy it. So to actually answer your question that I've been meandering around,
no, that was perfect. No,
yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, so yeah, it's launching on iOS and Android. Yeah, it'll be available on both platforms.
Awesome. No, I am super excited for this game. The graphics look amazing. And yeah, and even about Voxverse, I can't wait for Voxverse to come out. Yeah, let's make that happen as soon as possible because I am so excited to just be able to be in the Voxverse. So yeah, definitely appreciate the answer to that question, man. And yeah, just to backtrack a bit more, who are you to the game? I know we kind of know more about your game development history, but let's talk about who you are specifically to the game and the work that you've done.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the product lead on Vox, so the different product activations of managing the product development on that, managing the roadmap, making sure that we've got the right features in there, prioritizing everything and making sure that the work gets done. So, I'm kind of quarterbacking this stuff a little bit, but the real unsung heroes of this team are the developers, right? Like I've got an incredibly talented development team on this project, and they have been absolutely killing it. Like these guys work like day in, day out, night in, night out, able to do things that you would think are impossible. Like, right, like we couldn't have got here without the developers. And I also would be remiss if I didn't call out the designers. The art is incredible, right? The art has always been Vox's strong suit, right? That is really what is a unique competitive advantage that we feel that we have at Vox, that our art is so strong. And it's because we have the best voxel artists in the game. There's no doubt about it. Get Plucked actually came to be from our head designer just kind of like playing around, creating some of these chickens. Chickens have always been important in Voxverse, like since series 1. And if you watched any of our trailers, so we really wanted to kind of do an homage to those chickens, but it's just kind of playing around with these different chickens. And if you look at the different, like the collection on OpenSea, the Get Plucked collection, you can really see that the essence of the characters has been captured. Like, we're swooping like a lot of characters like in pop culture and things like that. And it's just incredible, like what this small idea from like our designer messing around with these chickens has come into this big game that we're now like really excited about and can kind of live and breathe on its own. So that's my role, but it's really like I'm nothing without this team, which is an incredible team and the most talented team I've ever worked on.
Man, I love your energy. I could see you're super excited for this project, and I am. Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate that answer, and I'm just really excited, man. I've seen a lot of just cool stuff, details about the game, and I think it has a huge potential. So definitely, everybody in the Gala community, make sure you support Get Plucked. And yeah, so have you guys made any big changes to the game as it's approached launch?
Yeah, so we had a couple of things happen. So there were some, when you're dealing with mobile games, that means inherently that you're dealing with app stores, right?
Yeah.
App stores can be a little frustrating in terms of like when they approve, but we kind of turn these lemons into lemonade a little bit, and we've added a progression mechanism into the game that wasn't there previously. It's called Feathers. So Feathers is like an in-game reward system. Like you think about any in-game reward system you get by completing missions, right? And then ultimately, right, you use these feathers, and what you'll actually use them for is to unlock certain chickens that can only be unlocked through feathers. So these are separate than the chickens I was talking about that we drop to the community. Those chickens will of course have benefits in game and also in Voxverse, like the other chickens as well. So yeah, I'll just dive into feathers like a little bit more, but
please do.
Users can earn feathers in 2 different ways. So weekly leaderboard prizes for the top 20 players of the week, they will earn like an amount of feathers, and then also through egg hatching. So this is a scoring game progression part of things. So leaderboard earning is pretty straightforward. I don't think I need to dive into that more. The higher you score, the more feathers you earn. Let me
Nice.
talk a little bit about egg hatching. So
Yeah.
each user is going to start off the game with a level 1 egg, right? And then you play the game, you go on your runs, you get points, and the points accumulate to actually hatch that egg, right? So you need to get, let's say, 500 points. You get to 500 points, and then your level 1 egg hatches, and then you'll earn eggs from that egg being hatched. Excuse me. You'll earn feathers from that egg being hatched, and then you'll go on to level 2 egg, and so on and so forth. And something that I want to be clear about is you're definitely going to earn a lot more feathers from the leaderboard prizes than you would from actual progression. But in doing this, it gives us a path for people that are really good at the game, people that are skilled, so we can reward them, but also grinders, right? Like maybe you're not as good at the game, but you want to play a lot and you want to earn feathers. There's still a path to do that. It's kind of funny. It's been a really fun project, right? We're talking about chickens and eggs and feathers, and you'll see like in Get Plucked, like we've got like all sorts of puns like everywhere, like in all of our messaging, all of our marketing, the app store stuff, the release notes. You'll see it. It's been a fun project for sure.
Nice, man. I mean, basically, it seems like you're trying to answer the question of why the chicken crossed the road, right? Basically, like that's what the game's about. No, it's
exactly.
And that's what I love. I think games have to be more simple, and sometimes those type of games with simple mechanisms do really well. But what I really like about it too is that there's a very fun layer you could play around with, right? With the feathers, being able to hatch your eggs, the leaderboard. So it just sounds like a lot of fun. I really can't wait to play it, man. Definitely. I'm gonna be the first player. You got to get me a demo or something so I could
climb that leaderboard. We're calling the top person on the leaderboard the top plucker. So good luck becoming the top plucker.
For sure, man. And real quick, I know there's so much chickens you guys have. Is there a favorite one that kind of sticks out to you?
Oh man. Okay, well, I'm just gonna say my personal favorite. Okay. Because there's so many good ones. There's some amazing
so
ones.
much.
Something that I will say also, like this was always meant to be a community thing, like I've been alluding to. And so like we had ancients and we gave away every single one of those ancients to the community, right?
Wow.
Like that was all included in the drop. Like we didn't save any for giveaways later. Like we randomly distributed those to the community. So I'm even gonna go away from the ancients in terms of my favorite, because like I know Wishbone is a community favorite, but I'm gonna go a different one. I really like Kylo Hen. I just think it's such a cool chicken. It's like got the Sith vibe. Like it's all black. Like it looks cool when you're playing it. I'm into it. I think it's named amazing. But like you can't go wrong like with these chickens. There's so many amazing ones. So I'm sure a different person that you asked would have a different favorite chicken. But that's mine.
Makes sense. Oh well, that sounds that sounds fun, man. No, I love all the different types of chickens. I love how they look. So yeah, just it just sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. So what's the plan for the game going forward? Any new content plan or expansions you can share?
Yeah, absolutely. So like any game, this game is going to evolve. Like the game that you have right now is not going to be the game that Get Plucked always exists on. And like, of course, any game, it's going to have bugs. We're going to fix those bugs. We're going to make the game better. But we do have like a couple of different like release plans right now. So we've started and with Feathers, like kind of I alluded to, but Feathers is actually going to expand, and there's going to be some more chickens that you can unlock through Feathers, which I alluded to. And I've seen them and they're amazing. And I think everybody at the community specifically is going to love them. So those are coming. There's going to be some other different features. I don't want to get too in the weeds on that. But also something that's coming later, and we have like phased releases. We've got a release plan with this whole thing of chicken power-ups. So people are asking, like, why do I have these different chickens? What's the different rarity? They're all going to have different power-ups in the game that give them like specific things that specific chicken can do. So we're working on that. That's going to be coming. And of course, these chickens will have utility in Voxverse as well. We've talked about that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the AMA. So you'll just have to watch that to find out more about that utility.
Yeah, no, definitely check out the AMA, guys. No, that's awesome, man. Cool. Do you have any new plans, or do you have any plans to bring new users to the game? And is there a way our community can help support with that plan?
Yeah, we're doing a lot to bring in new users. So like this is for the community, but we also like recognize this as like a somewhat easier on-ramp into Web3, into Web3 gaming, into Vox, into Voxverse, right? Like it's just like a simple mobile game, like very simple components. So yeah, we're running a bunch of UA. You'll see those ads like around. I'm sure you all see them. We're running them in, of course, like specific countries and looking at like what's working. We're also doing like some fun marketing activations like across Gala, right? So you'll see different tournaments are coming. And again, like I don't want to spoil, like there's a lot of things that are coming, but there's tournaments coming our way with different segments of Gala and outside of Gala as well. So we have some partners outside of Gala that we're going to be promoting this. You might see this game somewhere outside of Gala, but it's definitely something that we're looking at of like, how do we expand the reach of this as big as possible so that we can bring people into Vox, show them what we're doing, because we've got a lot coming up. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. The team has been working hard, and this is just the first of many products that you're going to see from us in pretty rapid succession here.
Nice. That sounds, yeah, man. Like I said, I love your energy. I can see how excited you are about this game, and I've seen the team's energy. Honestly, shout out to everybody working on the Vox team. I've definitely enjoyed all the interactions with the Vox team, so it's been a very positive experience. I can't wait for this game to come out, man. And yeah, just I guess to kind of add on to that question, what's the best way to support the game directly?
I think the best way to support the game directly is to play. That's it. Just download and play the game. Right? Like, find the leaderboard, become top plucker. Like tell your friends about the game. Like super easy to play. Like right. Like you don't have to know anything about crypto or Web3 or anything. Just like you're waiting in the dentist's office. You're on the train. Whatever it is. Like it's a fun, easy game. Hopefully you think it looks as pretty as we do. But yeah, I mean, second what you said, shout out to the entire Vox team. So privileged to work with this team of such talented and passionate individuals. And I love going to battle with them every single day.
Nice. Yeah, let's shout out some names, man. Shout out,
give some names. We got a big team, so I don't want to leave anybody out, but I love all of you, from the developers to the design team, to the community managers, everyone on this team, and of course the Vox father. So we've got a lot of people to thank, and I don't want to start naming names and miss anyone, but everyone on the team is an absolute killer.
Makes sense. Well, once again, Joe, to Kobe-Wan Kenobi, it was a real pleasure having this interview with you. Thank you so much for the information. Shout out to all the Gala community for being here. Let's make sure we subscribe, like, and comment. Make sure you check out that Vox Discord to keep, just keep notified of all the announcements. And back to you, Jason. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaehoon. I absolutely appreciate that, man. You killed it as always. I love listening to Jaehoon interview people because he's got really, really good questions and a lot of good insight. He's also the driving force behind all of the shorts content that you're seeing here. Him and Paul have been working together to create tons and tons and tons of awesome content there. So, big shout out to him for that. Okay, Spider Tanks, update there. Weekly streams are still happening. They're going to remain at 4 p.m. on Tuesday for the near future. Tune in to see members of the Gala and Spider Tanks communities battle it out, or the Spider Tanks squad battle it out against the community. So maybe if you guys are lucky, I will be in there so that I can be easily killed. And I think that's a thing that pretty much everyone who has played against me has experienced in that game. Quick update for Tweety. Monthly community AMA is scheduled for Wednesday, October 11th at 4 p.m. Check the Discord for your local time and how to submit your questions ahead of time. I really love watching the Tweety AMAs, especially when they get the level builders out and they actually start making stuff while everyone's hanging out in the stream. I appreciate that. I think it is super, super, super cool. Okay, final game update of the day. Poker Go Play has a new game mode. Sit and Go tournaments are now live. We're also going to be starting this coming week poker nights at Gala. We're going to be using the new tournaments and playing against each other to your amusement. So hopefully that'll be something that you guys enjoy, and we'll probably be dragging in members from the community to play as well. And check the Discord for more information and opportunities as they become available. Now, we also have, before we get into the AMA portion of things, we have an interview with Omar of games.gg, GAM3S.gg. And so I'm going to send that back over to Jehoon for that, and then we're going to hit the community AMA questions after this.
Hello, Gala community. How's it going? Thank you for the introduction once again, Jason. I know you haven't been sleeping and you've been in flights all across the world, so definitely got to get some sleep, my man. I'm Think Jehoon, a crossover strategist here at Gala and the host of our interview today. I'm pleased to be here with Omar from games.gg. How are you doing today, Omar?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I'm guessing you've seen a few of these interviews before and know how they go. So I would, I think the Gala community would love to know who you are. And yeah, just give us some of your background, man.
Sure, yeah. I mean, let me start with the background first. But essentially, my name is Omar. People typically refer to me as OG. Not to flex. It's just my initials actually happen to be OG.
I see you, man.
Yeah, you see me. Yeah, I started games.gg essentially as a concept of nothing more than a community. So my background's in marketing and social media. I'm based out of Dubai, so lived here all of my life. And, going into kind of my professional career, I worked mainly on social media projects across different clients. Many of them happen to be in gaming. So, I got the pleasure to work with the Ubisofts and Nvidias and Epics and Riots and so on. Web3 gaming was slightly different for me because, I dabbled in crypto around 2018, went deeper into 19, 20, and then around 21 was when I found Polkastarter, which essentially was, a Kickstarter for Web3, right? Like a fundraising platform. And I used the product, I liked it, but I thought they needed to go a bit deeper on gaming. So I funny enough, in true Web3 fashion, I DM'd the founder, because that only happens in Web3, right? And I said, you need to, take a look at gaming a bit more seriously. And then that's when Daniel and the team asked me to join and build out the gaming department, let's say. So Polkastarter Gaming was just purely like a Discord server back in December 2021. And we'd play games, right? Like it was Fortnite, it was League of Legends, it was whatever, but we'd also like educate the community on Web3 games. And back then, there weren't many Gala games for sure. I mean, Townstar was around, but there weren't that many Gala titles for sure. And there weren't many high quality, let's say, games back then. I think Axie was probably the most playable game that you could think of. But besides that, like everything was pretty tragic. So it was almost our job to become the filter for the community. And that's, I think, where things started to snowball because we continued growing the community. We gained a sense of trust. And then we started, creating content across different platforms. So we were streaming on Twitch almost on a daily basis. We were creating videos on YouTube. We were on Twitter, obviously, now X or whatever you want to call it. And so there was dissonance in terms of the community members wanting to go to like one platform to get their Web3 gaming dose. And that's when we actually built out the platform, essentially, which has now been rebranded to games.gg. So it's not a mouthful anymore. It's not Polkastarter Gaming anymore. But yeah, that's a quick snippet about who I am. And I guess, if I had to summarize what we do, it's essentially everything you need in Web3 gaming, right? We really genuinely call it the home of Web3 gaming for a reason. We do guides, reviews, news. Our quests are essentially just new ways for you to engage with the games that we work with. And there's a couple of much more interesting features that we haven't even released yet. And as of, was it a month and a half now? I can't remember, but as of like a month and maybe, I think the last 4 to 6 weeks, we've had the Play Now functionality where you can actually play browser games on the platform. So a lot of stuff, but we like to summarize it by saying games.gg is your home of Web3 gaming.
Nice. Well, I love how your focus is on building communities because I think that's a very just important function for gaming and Web3 in general. What got you into gaming and Web3?
into gaming
Yeah.
is, I guess, video games growing up.
You just like video games. It was your thing,
Yeah.
and you just
As,
okay, I
yeah,
see.
as long as I remember. I mean, I can go back to the Atari, the PS1, my PSP that I still love. PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, and then
Yeah.
when I went to the dark side and actually got into PC gaming and started playing League of Legends all the way up to
The dark side.
the platinum rank, and then all the way back down to ARAM and Earth and things like that. So yeah, I always I love video games. I never
Nice.
really like saw a clear path into working in gaming. I mean, besides working in a game studio or working at like a publisher or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think where it became interesting was how I managed to get my professional experience and then balanced it with my passion, which was gaming. So I managed to work in social media and marketing across different games. And it's maybe slightly different for you guys at Gala, because you are a publisher. Well, okay, maybe it's not different anymore, but the point I was trying to make was I didn't want to get stuck working on one game, right? So I love so many different games that I didn't really want to become like a CMO of a game studio, because that would mean I can only talk about this one game. Whereas like doing what I do today and essentially doing what you guys do at Gala, maybe slightly more restricted by the ecosystem, but you could talk about multiple games. So like I can talk to people that like casual games about a casual game. I could talk to people that are a bit more try hard and sweaty about a competitive game. And I think that's what I always enjoyed, because I'm, I don't know if it's a variety gamer, but like, I'm not really like a one genre type of gamer, right? Like I am sweaty when I play League. I run Zed mid and I will take you on 1v1.
You're confident, huh? Okay,
I'll probably do the same in FIFA, but like I also want to sit back and play God of War, right? Like I also want to sit back and play Spider-Man. Like I want to enjoy story-driven games as well, and I also want to try like Hades. I want to try indie game studio like titles that are more story-driven and more kind of art style focused. So yeah, I think it was a challenge at first, but once I managed to actually hone in on the industry, I never really wanted to leave.
Nice.
And I guess my story into Web3 gaming is slightly different, because slight flashback, my experience with professional gaming in terms of like what I used to do was mainly like MENA region esports focused. So a lot of esports tournaments, a lot of regional titles, Rainbow Six, CSGO, League of Legends, etc. And I saw a lot of issues with gaming through my work. So like I saw people struggle to get their prize pool 12 to 18 to maybe 24 months out after the tournament. I saw gamers around me, including myself, struggle to understand why, right now Warzone is a pretty good example, but why games continue to like just render their skins and battle passes and items obsolete with every single new DLC or every single new game. So I think it became more of a nuance and more of a like I think something is wrong with gaming, and I'd like to figure out how we could fix that. I'm not one of the the DeFi loving, asset ownership driven like guys. I'm more of like I love games. I just think the gaming industry is kind of broken, and I'm trying to figure out how we could fix it. So that's always been my take, which sometimes for people seems like, I don't know, I have to almost defend my takes on Twitter oftentimes, because I say like, hey, I don't think this is a good idea. And people are like, you don't understand Web3 gaming. It's supposed to be blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, asset ownership is great, but like, what's the value of the asset, right? Like, do I actually need to own this asset? Like, you can't just ask me to own stuff that doesn't really matter to the gamer, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a bit about me.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, man. Definitely, yeah, a lot of interesting kind of it's really interesting to kind of get to know you and your story more. So definitely appreciate you sharing that, man. Are there any questions you'd like to ask Gala?
How spicy do you want me to be?
Man, I'm the type to be like, let's crank it up all the way high, man. But just ask anything. We're a transparent.
I'd be asking on behalf of I guess the entire community. Let's say.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I think okay. So I'll give you a quick look at my thought process. I think Gala is great for the industry. I think the fact that we have a publisher that sticks by the game titles that it pushes out, and the fact that we've got a publisher that essentially is trying to, push the space forward in terms of quality. I think that's great.
Yeah.
What I do think becomes more of a struggle to grasp or understand is the economy side of things in a lot of Gala games. I think one of the biggest like pieces of feedback we get from the community is like, love the game, just don't understand why it's like $10,000 to grab an NFT, right? Or like, amazing title, like I love playing Superior, just don't get why it's $25 on Steam.
Yeah.
Like there's always that, caveat of we appreciate, these games building in public. We appreciate these studios like trying to actually deliver good quality. It's just that on Steam, there's like thousands and thousands of games and they're like cheaper than Superior. And we know Superior is not done yet. It's not ready yet. So why do I need to pay the high ticket price? I think that's mainly the biggest remark. So I want to start there because you said I could go as spicy as I want.
No, and I feel that. And I think basically you're saying we could kind of explain more on why we have these price values, and we can explain more about the value of buying these digital collectibles on our platform. And so, yeah, I definitely appreciate all that. And our community always loves tough discussions. And at the end of the day, we're still working on a lot of these things and we're building out our platform. So I have a lot of confidence in the team in order to kind of make sure we communicate the reason why things are valued the way they are. And so, yeah, no, I definitely appreciate just the honesty. And I think for us, we will kind of definitely keep discussing about how we can improve on that. So appreciate you, Omar. Thank you for keeping it real, man.
No worries.
And so what's something you think Gala, that was a great spicy take. And what do you think Gala what do you think Gala is doing well, or what do you like about Gala?
Yeah, honestly, I think that's the one remark.
Let's get the positive stuff, you actually flip-flop. You should have given something positive first, man. No,
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I'm messing with you.
That sandwich approach of like, I love Gala's. I mean, I gave you a little bit of like a Gala's.
That's real. That's real. I love it.
But like, you gotta go into, because I think that's the one question mark. Honestly, I genuinely think if you completely ignore pricing structures of NFT drops over the past, 6 to 8 to 12 months of all the Gala titles, I think there's very little that you could point out and say, hey, this is bad, right? Like there are instances where, sure, there was the controversy with Grit and the horses or whatever. Sure, there's like a bit of, back and forth with creators on Twitter or whatever. Like I understand that, but that happens everywhere. The one thing from like a business model perspective that people always point at, and that I think maybe needs more explanation, justification, or maybe even amendment, because it could just be that, these things were priced at a certain point in the industry where everything was booming and it looked like these prices made sense, but now not so much. That's the one thing that I think always stands out. Like I think if you put prices aside, very hard to argue with quality. Obviously, like I can debate because I'm a very specific type of gamer. So like I don't play casual stuff. I don't really play mobile stuff. So like I'm not gonna hype up, the Meow Match title or any of the other like mobile. I think Champions does look good. But again, not my style of game, right? But yeah, I think that's the one thing that I could really point at.
Man,
hey, it needs work.
No, I love it. I love it, man. Yeah, I was gonna say. And real quick too, so kind of just so we can like really lock in on what you're saying. Do you feel like it's kind of like we can communicate better, or do you feel when you objectively look at these prices and see kind of the utility that's added for these digital collectibles? So do you honestly think that the prices are too expensive for the value that they're bringing? Is that kind of like what you're saying as well? Not necessarily just a communication, but you think that we can kind of add more to whatever digital collectible we're selling to justify the value? Is that kind of what you're trying to say?
I think the issue is Gala prices assets based on what Gala thinks the assets will be worth in the future. But Gala community members look at the assets based on the value today. So what I mean by that is I can pay $80, $90 max, get like Diablo, the ultimate version, every single skin, whatever.
Yeah.
I can pay that same amount and like get a new FIFA with like thousands of coins from the get-go. Like I can pay a very, very small amount of money and get maybe 10, 20, 100 times the amount of fun playing a Gala game, just presuming that the game is still in early, stages, which is majority of the games that are in the Gala ecosystem and the entire Web2 gaming ecosystem.
Yeah.
So it's not justified, in my opinion, again,
Yeah.
I'll take it with a pinch of salt. It's not justified
Yeah.
to say like, hey, you should pay 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 plus for an asset within this game. Because I think there's that difference in terms of what you perceive the value will be, which might be true, by the way. Like I might eat my words in a couple of months or years time and say, damn, I wish I paid, $5,000 on this thing.
Yeah.
But I think today it just looks like a sink in terms of the amount of money that's required. So if you ask me, I think definitely more on the expensive side, but also definitely could be communicated better.
Yeah.
Because for example, like I think we probably played Superior the most in terms of any community. I think Hub from our community streams it every other week, and we have an inside joke where he'll call a stream like playing I don't know, playing Big Time or playing this is just for the sake of the ecosystem, let's keep it Gala, playing Townstar, playing The Walking Dead. But you'll tune in and he'll be playing Superior. Like he'll switch back to Superior. But I don't think if you ask Hub why you should buy NFT X versus NFT Y, he'll actually have an answer for you. Like I don't think there's actually enough communication around the NFTs. And this isn't, a dig at Superior as a game or any of the other games mentioned. It's just I don't think it's clear why assets are priced the way that they are. But again, man, I don't want to make the entire conversation about this stuff.
Nah, of course. No, and I appreciate that definitely, and we'll move on. But just in terms of I feel, and just in terms of like I do think our games are a bit differently than games on Steam, just because even when you buy a digital collectible, you can kind of earn rewards. So I think our model is a bit different. But I definitely would love to kind of continue talking further with it, further about it, because at the end of the day, I'm all for tough discussions and making sure. I think what we all want is to just see Gala, be successful and what's best for Gala at the end of the day. So I appreciate you. But let's move on to kind of the positives about Gala now.
Positives I think are quite obvious. I think the quality of the studios that Gala chooses to work with. If I point out at Last Expedition, The Walking Dead, Superior, like those three are easily, I think, one of the, some of the top quality titles. And there are many more that you guys haven't even announced or disclosed yet. I know there's just a couple that are coming up over the next few months as well. So I think quality is definitely number one. I think there used to be a misconception, and I used to talk to Jason about this a lot, where people thought because you had a token, people thought Gala was a metaverse like Decentraland and Sandbox, and people always kind of like, looked at Gala that way. Whereas I think people are starting to understand, definitely within Web3 gaming, but more broadly, people are starting to understand that it's a publisher essentially, right? Like you guys are a publisher of games. You guys are bringing games into Web3. You guys are not necessarily. It's kind of like Sony with the first party versus third party titles, where you don't necessarily work on the game, you don't develop the game yourself, but it's essentially you bring the game to market. So I think there's a lot of value there, and I think there's a lot of value in some of the titles that Gala has pushed out. We saw the example with was it Legends Reborn? I think was the right name, right?
Yeah.
Where there's an instance of like a game that people kind of start admiring and they're looking forward to, but then something goes wrong. The studio decides to stop building it, but then Gala says, "Hey, we appreciate you guys genuinely enjoying this experience, so we'll take on the responsibility of building it out and reaching those milestones." So I think there's a lot of credit that needs to be given to Gala.
Nice.
But because of that, like because of the standard that we hold you to, I think that's where these tough conversations need to come in. Because like if you were game studio XYZ, like the 17th MMORPG in the space, or like FPS number 27 or whatever, it's okay. Like I wouldn't really have this conversation with you. But because like you influence so many different games and you have so many titles that are potentially going to be good segues into traditional gamers having some interest in the industry, I think it's important to like ask questions, because if we don't ask them, the outsiders will ask them, and when they ask them, they'll be a lot harsher, right? Because I'm like, hey, can you
Exactly.
tell me why? But like someone from the outside coming in would be like, what kind of scam is this? What are you guys doing? Why? So
Exactly.
I think it's important to have these dialogues and conversations internally within this space as well.
Yeah, and that's what I think I really love about Gala too, the way that we can kind of just communicate to our community so directly and we can have these tough discussions. And at the end of the day, all of our best interests are for Gala doing well because all of us will benefit if we do. And that's what I love about kind of like this Web3 model that users get to participate on a deeper level. So definitely appreciate that, man. What's a specific thing you would like to see in Gala's future? Or you are excited to see?
Console.
That's gonna be
console.
fun.
I don't know how much I'm supposed to say, so I won't say anything. But I think Gala Games. I think Gala Games on console would definitely, would be a game changer. Just primarily because of the same reason so many Web3 games are going to Steam and Epic, right? It's distribution. Essentially. So, I think if a Gala game could make it to console, and maybe sooner than you think, but if you could have a game on console and it could have good reviews and it could have a good experience and people would start downloading it, I think it just shifts the dynamic a bit more where it becomes like a standard, right? I think the moment I'm looking forward to in this space isn't so much where, like, we talk a lot about we should stop calling it Web3 gaming and we should we should stop using all these terms, blah, blah, blah. I agree. But I think the key moment is when the games attract the gamers and then they themselves start digging deeper, right? Like,
yes,
I want someone to play, again, for the sake of the example, Superior on like PS5 and then try to understand like who built this, what else have they built, what else could I possibly play from that same publisher? And then that's where they find Last Expedition. That's where they find, The Walking Dead, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's something I'm looking forward to. And then, just more games and specifically maybe more, again, like I said, console, but maybe more PC titles. I know Gala's going, deep on mobile, which I think is a great strategy. And I think will definitely get you the numbers and the metrics that you're looking for. But a bit subjectively, or from my lens, I'm excited to just see more high quality games because I think the quality of the titles that I'm just talking about, even Townstar, by the way, like I'm not someone to play, farming simulators or whatever, but I know it's getting rebranded. So sorry if by the time you're listening to this, it's no longer called Townstar. But I think the quality of it, like the polish, like that's the Gala effect, let's say. So that's something I'm excited to keep seeing in games, which is like you spot a new game, you take a look and you're like, yep, that's a Gala game, right? Like it's got that little shiny polish on the end where it's like, okay, I understand that's a Gala game. That's what excites me the most, to be honest.
Awesome, man. Well, this has been a really great interview. I really appreciate this conversation. And Omar is actually going to close us out with the 16-bar rap that he said he prepared for us, right? Omar, you got a little something?
No.
I can see it in you.
I'll spare you the embarrassment, but
it's all
thanks
good.
for having me.
Yeah, of course. And once again, thank you everybody for kind of tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's been a pleasure. I'm Think Jayhoon, and this has been another community interview on Ahead of the Games. Back to you, Jason.
Really quick questions. And I'm going to see what I can do to hit everything as quickly as possible. But I did promise an update for Hamda Mimo from YouTube. Hamda says, you got to burn, man. Burn tokens. Burn. We are demanding a burn. The problem is, dude, that's not actually how this works. Okay? Several reasons. Firstly, we don't control the vast majority of the supply. We burnt 20 billion tokens back in May, and so we have, there is, and you can see it on chain, there is one significant wallet that we have that is a reserve wallet. Other than that, everything's in the hands of the community. So there isn't any big, gigantic amount that can be burnt. Secondly, anyone who's complaining about the inflation doesn't understand how it actually works. I highly, highly recommend that you actually go read the blog articles on how Gala functions and it's the long-term plan. We have a lot more information coming out on that. But the main thing that you need to understand is that we're not sitting here holding some gigantic bucket of Gala that we are going to dump on the community. You know, people worry about rug pulls with projects like this. There's no rug for us to pull. It's all in the hands of the community, and that's a very, very, very important thing. Oh my God, the Zoro Gala has just dropped a meme, the dark and spicy version. Well done, Zoro Gala. Okay, let's see here. Let's go ahead and hit some questions that people have. It's saying muted on YouTube. Fixed. It's fixed. Sorry about the muting, guys. And why am I turning red? Is my camera doing weird things? Okay, let me hit some other questions. I'm burning up. Oh, burning. It's the burning. Oh, I'm burning. Paul made a joke, guys. It was good. Okay, guys, let's see here. What questions do people have? There's some questions about the economy. Sigard asks about Deadcoin. Last he asked, it was still planned to use Gala. Will Deadcoin be usable in game? Yes, there will be some more information released on this soon. And there will be. I don't want to get ahead of the Tweety team and release information myself, but I think that you're going to be very pleased with how this goes. And yes, there will be stuff usable in game. So that's that. There's some questions about Common Ground, which, by the way, guys, we had an exclusive screening of Common Ground in Bangkok that went amazingly well. We had some representatives from Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Environment there, and it was a really, really cool event. Absolutely packed theater. Went extremely well. And somebody here was asking about Founders Node NFTs. Where did it go? They want an update on Founders Node NFTs to keep the salt at a minimum. That's from Joai. Yes, Founders Node NFTs are in process. If you go to explorer.gala.com, you can actually see the node channel now. So you will be able to see some testing going on in there as they're bridged back and forth. Again, it's with the Townstar NFTs for the Townstar nodes first, which there will be an update on beginning of next week at the latest. So keep an eye on this channel for that. There's a little bit of alpha for you guys. We had a big conversation in Gala Gold today about Townstar nodes. And so you will be seeing a lot more information on that. Let's see, what else do we have? Hamza is posting something. I'm going to throw that in Google Translate just for grins, just to see what that says. Let's see here, translate.google.com. What does that say? That doesn't actually translate very well. Translate from Arabic. Let's see. Very large inflated, he says. Dude, go read the tokenomics, please. It's not very large inflated. And yes, Rich, beginning of next week, hold me to that. Please do. I look forward to giving you that update. I wanted it to be something that we could talk about today, but there's a few final little bits and pieces that have to be nailed down. There's a lot going on with Townstar, guys. And what you're seeing looks like a lot of delays, but it's because there's bigger things in motion that aren't obvious from the outset. So I look forward to seeing that. Can y'all bring Snoop back in? I would like to talk to Snoop again. Let me see if I can ping him and see what he's got going on. I was talking to some of his people here recently, so that would be a fun thing to talk about. To talk to. Let's see. I think, I would like everyone, by the way, go to the GalaChain announcement, or not the GalaChain announcement, the Gala Gold announcement channel and vote again. on those two options for the ahead of the game style. So let's go ahead and give that a shot, and let's see. Right now, there's the two options, 1 and 2. Right now, number 1 is over triple what number 2 is. So if you really like number 2, you're going to have to come in hard and get a lot of heat on that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close it out for today, and because I got a call with Benefactor right after this to talk about some stuff, and I will see you guys all on the flip side. So, BitBender out. Peace.